Welcome back to our channel. If your birthday on this day, kindly comment your name, year of birth and country of birth. If you like our work, give like and subscribe our channel. Check description to see about our offers and new announcement. Here we see truth about birthday on this day. 14. On the off chance that you were brought into the world on the 14th day of the month, you have an exceptionally efficient demeanor which you can use by dealing with your own. Regardless of whether working inside the bounds of a group, you will endeavor to cut out a specialty which will empower you to work autonomously. Since you do give close consideration to detail, you are appropriate to perform complex administrative jobs, yet should practice alert to guarantee that you don't assume praise for the work that others have finished. You have an alluring face and eyes. You might be tall. You can't remain quiet about anything and have a propensity for talking straightforwardly and honestly. You are quick and snappy in your considerations, and you likewise act similarly. Your point is to be quick, quicker and quickest. Whatever the work may be, you attempt it with intensity and certainty. You imagine that whatever others can do, you can improve. You generally mean to experiment and accomplish name and notoriety in the general public. You as a rule try not to take help from others and play out the work alone and all alone. You make companions without any problem. You are anxious to learn everything without exception. Anytime you are brisk in your reaction, you have the assurance to bear any catastrophe and mishappening with a grin. You make a snappy rebound even from the heaviest blow. You are fragile and mild-mannered. You are cognizant about your vocation. You are over-particular and will pick your mate with trouble. You play out your obligations to such flawlessness that you achieve popularity in the general public and are past analysis as to. You ought to maintain a strategic distance from exhaust and stress. You tend to overstrain your sensory system. You may have issues identified with clogging, kidney and fretfulness. You might be inclined to mental meltdowns. You have an attractive character. You are loved constantly by all. You will succeed in business and will arrive at a high situation in your life. Your wedded will be glad, yet you ought to be cautious about labor. You like betting and theorizing. You focus more on public activity than day-to-day life. You are actually frail when contrasted with your self-control. You are a profound scholar. You will have a decent pay and you will likewise spend generously. You don't mind of saving your abundance. You love change, fervor, and travel. You effortlessly become exhausted and need the new and the colorful to feel animated and invigorated. You are profoundly versatile, which makes change simple for you. You have a blessing with words and likely have a lot of ability as an author or a manager. You are profoundly friendly and cooperate with other people as long as there are not very numerous limitations to tie you. You get anxious effectively, a trademark that can make you change employments or connections far and away excessively fast. Significant changes in your day-to-day existence ought to be concentrated well before you make them. You can be presumptuous and persistent, however you likewise will in general be fortunate and a characteristic player. Fundamental, your affection for change is a lot of weakness. Underneath and outside of quiet or coolness lies a lot of enthusiastic disturbance, which reflects itself in your life as quick change and inconsistent emotional episodes. Your test is to ground in a specific calling or way of life that will give cutoff points and structure to your extensive innovativeness. You are incredibly adaptable and capable. There are not many things you can't do. You are likewise innovative. Whenever you have made a guarantee to a particular errand, the way into your prosperity is balance. You should try not to roll out significant improvements just to get away from the daily schedule, or as a methods for evading obligation regarding tough spots. You have a brisk and logical brain. You are unique and useful, however can be flighty. You need to constrain yourself to complete activities whenever they are begun. You should evade the traps of over-guilty pleasure, like sex, liquor, medications, and food. By establishing in a specific field and submitting your significant gifts to your work, you can make an incredible accomplishment of your life. You are a gifted individual from birth. It is your capacity to add to finding your specialty for self-articulation. To completely uncover every one of your abilities, You ought not restrict your opportunity of activity. You are inclined to correspondence and travel. The symbol of a person who is not sitting in one place, striving for self-improvement, searching and gaining experience. Your nature, overwhelmed with enthusiasm, in need of adventure and risk. The decision to act comes spontaneously and suddenly. In life, you are ruled by a positive attitude, resourcefulness, wit and cheerfulness. You are directed only forward and think only about the positive outcome of everything, so that you do not take it as a rule. People with the number of 5 lives are nervous, adventurous and very mobile. The capacity to look more youthful than the genuine age and stand apart on any foundation because of articulated sexuality, portability, movement, contact. On this brilliant foundation, the capacity to reason reasonably frequently comes as a shock to the conversationalist. Those brought into the world under the indication of the 5 favor a lot to appreciate life and attempt various accomplices prior to settling down. Sex for them is a wide field for tests, and they anticipate similar get-back from accomplices. Their marriage will generally rely upon this. Devotion and the longing to learn new things assume a significant part in picking a daily existence accomplice. You are represented by a steady appreciation for everything uncommon, already obscure. You are roused and loaded up with energy, don't prefer to remain long in one spot. Any place you will be, you feel comfortable. Experience and travel for you as a much-needed refresher. Mercury. People of this kind have an exceptionally exuberant and particular psyche. They step up in all things, regardless. They rapidly track down a judicious grain. They regularly look to attempt their solidarity in uncommon callings. A moronic routine is strange to them. Everything bubbles in their grasp. They are quick in all things. They rapidly think, reach inferences, work. The capacity to communicate musings has an exceptional significance for them. They are overpowered with hunger for information, basic, ingenious, yet immediately become deterred from disappointments. This is an irresolute character. These individuals are cherished and mainstream, not financial, voracious, inquisitive to all signs of life, enchanting, never lose their uniqueness. They track down a typical language with their own sword. However, generally they coexist well with any remaining kinds of individuals. Modesty, self-restraint and obligatoriness in the whole thing are the vital traits of these, who were born below number 14. These human beings are practical and sensible. They are very unbiased and are not seeking to place responsibilities on the other's shoulders. They have the uncommon potential to competently understand any state of affairs and the preference to continuously sense their inextricable hyperlink with the outside global. Whatever happens, they're seeking to examine their classes even from a terrible studies. Their outward calmness conceals a revel of feelings and a nation of inner variability. Sometimes there is impulsiveness in their movements. In some situations people of number 14 are pretty unpredictable. Choosing their priorities, they regularly rely upon intuition. They want to live a complete, wealthy life. Those born with number 14 are dynamic, hardworking and capable of locating best ways to obtain their goals. The adjustments are encouraging them and supporting to be always in form. Indeed, any alternate manner locating new impetus in existence, the emergence of recent ideas and expanding the field of interest. In dealing with people, number 14 feels quite loose, however every so often they is probably too trustworthy. They should no longer deliver their conversations to the inconsiderate, harsh phrases. Positive mindset in the direction of lifestyles offers them the opportunity to have all of it: an ideal lover, authentic friends, exciting and creative work. People of number 14 should avoid indulgence. They want to preserve balance and concord in lifestyles. To achieve this, they need to pick out a specific vicinity of activity and manifestation in their skills. Success in lifestyles is finished via the moderation in all components of lifestyles. Emotional characteristics. Spouses and pals of those people must better be wealthy, It is one of the first-class approaches to win a coronary heart or as a minimum attention of humans with the Earth Day number 14. These human beings aren't warming up without delay to all of us they see in front of them, and love for number 14 isn't a short and clean element. On the alternative hand, they've lots of splendid features, and that they commonly are pretty attractive to the other sex. They are courteous and diplomatic. As a rule, people of number 14 have many pals. They do not like to fight for silly motives, so they generally preserve a quite properly relationships with nearly everybody, Marines, faculties and absolutely everyone else they meet in lifestyles. The spouses of number 14 ought to better be materialistic sufficient. Someone who has some other sort of thoughts may experience a few problems in communicating with the number 14. They do no longer in reality recognize those who aren't inquisitive about money. This is a maximum common mean of conversation for the ones born underneath this number. Sexually they're a totally strong human beings, in all likelihood due to the fact they're materialistic enough now not to fly too a ways to the world of dreams. People of number 14 are 3 and 1. Two numbers are contrary to every different, and their sum is 5, a totally specific individual, but in truth there may be no struggle here. Number 1 is a leader, fiery and bold. Number 4, very clever, methodical. The sum of those numbers offers as type of a mercantile individual, who has one god, money. This mixture is honestly precise. This humans are uniting ambition, intelligence and love for money. People born under number 14 are very successful in material affairs, due to the fact they have got the present of being a leader. They are initiative and active, very wise, and they're capable of completely dedicate all their electricity to earning profits. However, they may be quite beneficent and every so often even wasteful. However, it's far controlled via the qualities of number 5. Under these kind of terrific characteristics there is a hidden pessimism that comes from number 4, but it smiles nonetheless. Now not a dominant trait and trendy, number 14 gives an ambitious, materialistic, very strong and a very fortunate people. You are very bendy, glad and journey-seeking. You always need a certain motivation, impulse and action, so as no longer to paste inside the habitual. That's why your flexibility and adaptableness are essential to your happiness. You are very talkative and your phrases are your tools and weapons, as you could maneuver them in a totally innovative way. You can be a super editor, author or any career related with words fits you. You can work in a massive network and will discover your region there unless the restrictions there exceed freedoms. If you need to make any essential modifications in your existence, you continually need to suppose very thoroughly, because you are changeable. Today this idea appears best for you, and tomorrow you don't even want to address it. So continually supply yourself a while. Your shortcomings, your changeability is as your strong facet, so is your vulnerable side, due to the fact you may seem assured, however interior you virtually do not know what you're doing. So you're exposed to on-the-spot temper modifications, specially motivated by Mercury. Your toughest aim is to live at one vicinity, grow to be extra reliable and responsible individual in terms of profession and lifestyle. You are afraid of obstacles. You want to remember that there are continually a few limits in our life, but no longer they all are intended to harm you. Most of them direct you and cause harmony. Keep yourself away from a desire to exchange the whole thing just due to the fact you're caught within the recurring. Your creativity is a present, but you tend to waste it by scattering your interest on much less crucial stuff or via now not finishing things. You tend to permit yourself an excessive amount of pleasures, consisting of meals, intercourse, gambling, and it could end up risky for you. It is really needed which you are able to prepare and dedicate yourself to your existence and paintings,